Okay, we're going to do a quick stretch to work on lower back mobility for anyone who's struggling with lower back pain or tight lower back regions. Now, we're going to need a cushion for this and also a mat, ideally, or something on the floor like carpet. So, if we plonk that one down, first up, I want you to take a seat in this position. We're going to sit with our soles of our feet together and bring the heels close into the groin area and just cup your hands underneath, and we're just trying to lean forwards, effectively trying to get our chin towards our feet. So we're going to hold this pose for around 30 seconds. Just try and relax into it and keep pulling a bit more as things loosen up and your body moves into it or your head moves towards your feet. Just try and gradually pull further and further. Our goal over time is to get our forehead or our chin towards our feet. Of course, that's not going to happen on your first session. That's it. Keep it going a little bit more. Touch more. And if you want to start bringing your elbows out wide, you can use a bit of bicep strength to pull yourself that little bit further. And as the back loosens up, you'll find you'll start to get down closer, and you should also feel a bit of a stretch in the adductor muscles in between the thighs. Okay, so we've done that for about 30 seconds. I would encourage you to try and hold these poses for longer when you're not watching this video. Next up, we're going to keep the feet where they are, and we're going to use our elbows to press down the knees or dig into the fleshy part of your inner thigh. So now we're focusing on stretching out the adductors by forcing our knees down towards the floor. And we're going to do the same thing. Hold this one for around 30 seconds. So keep going with that. And as the muscles loosen off, just try and push that bit further down, 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 down. In my old martial arts days, we used to hold this pose and the instructor used to come round and stand one foot on there and one foot on there to try and help us get them all the way down to the floor. I don't have anybody here to do that at the moment. Okay, a few more seconds in this position. Okay, that's good stuff. Now, what I want to do next is we're going to do some rotations. So we're going to move on to our back. In fact, what I'm going to do is get a dumbbell for this one. I should have told you that to start off with, but I didn't, unfortunately. Now, we use the dumbbell to just plant our hands down. And what we're going to do is go straight out like this, dumbbell there, other arm out wide, and then you kick the leg over. And with this hand, if you like, you can pull that knee down towards the floor. And we're going to hold this pose. Now, I'm just going to move my mic a little bit so that that doesn't get in the way. You can do an extreme version of this, which is where you hook that over and go all the way down, and then you're trying to get this knee to the floor, basically, but whilst keeping this arm and this shoulder down as low as possible. So we go here, and we just relax into the pose. Try and loosen things off, and try to encourage your muscles to relax, because naturally your muscles will be contracting, trying to resist the stretch, but we have to almost consciously undo that and relax. And sometimes taking a big deep breath in and then a slow breath out will help you relax. So we go in, and as you relax, as you breathe out, you'll feel sometimes that stretch will go a little bit further. Okay, so that's enough on the one side. We're going to repeat the process on the other side. So dumbbell over there. And I'm going to do the extreme leg crossover version. And give myself a bit of help with the hand. And then again, a few deep breaths in. And just relax. If you're lucky, you might get a bit of a pop or a click in your spine during this, and that's, well, if you like those things, that's a satisfying feeling. I just had one. Deep breath, relax it out. Okay, so keep holding this pose for a little bit. That's good. Just remember to consciously let your muscles relax. Don't fight the stretch. Excellent stuff. A few more seconds here. And good. Okay. So we don't need the dumbbell anymore. We can put that aside. We're going to come up and we're going to do some rotating. So more rotation around the torso. We're going to start, and I'll break this down for you. Take your right leg, bend the knee, and pop your right foot over on the outside of your left leg. And then we're going to put our right hand back, get our left hand, and put your elbow on the outside of the right knee, and use that as a lever to twist your torso so that you're, ideally, with a straight arm, your shoulders, or your ankle, your knee, your two shoulders and your hand should, when being looked at from above, should all be in one straight line. And I'm not suggesting for a minute that mine is, but it's probably not far off. So that's the goal. You might even be able to go beyond that one, but this is a good stretch for the torso. So we're going to hold this one for around 30 seconds. Again, as you progress with these stretches, you can hold them for longer. Depends on how much time you've got as well. A full-on stretch can be a very lengthy session if you're holding the poses for long enough. Okay, now from here, we're going to hug the knee. So take your left arm, wrap it around your right knee and hook it. Hook the knee in the crevice, and then with your right hand, grab your elbow, and then we're just going to pull it in tight towards the body, and you should feel this one stretching the glute just there. This is good. So we hold this one for around 30 seconds as well. A few deep breaths when you're here, and just bit by bit try and pull that knee in closer so that you're exaggerating the stretch in the glute on your right hand side. That's good. Okay, then we're going to do the same thing in the other direction. So I'm going to turn around so that I'm still facing the camera here. Now we're going to go this time, bend the left knee, bring the left foot over to the outside of the right leg, left hand back, right arm, elbow on the outside of your left knee, and twist the torso back, straighten out your back arm, and hold the pose. I'm getting cramp in my upper back, which is annoying, but it's calming. Okay, so really twist that torso. You want this part of your body to be facing forward, if you can, so that the shoulders are perfectly aligned. And we'll usually have one side that's a bit flexible, or a bit more flexible than the other. So you might find one way is easier. This one seems to be more comfortable for me, certainly. Okay, so from here, we're going to do the knee hug. So right arm, clasp the left knee, get your left hand on your right elbow, and pull in close, nice and tight. And hopefully you're feeling that around here somewhere. That's good. Deep breaths in the pose, and remember not to resist. Relax those glutes. That's it. Another deep breath. Okay, lovely stuff. So from here, we're going to do a stretch called the figure 4 stretch. It's another one for the glute. Get your right leg and put that ankle just on the knee. And we're going to either grab behind the thigh and pull towards us, or in front of the knee, depending on how flexible you are or how tight your glutes are. And we're going to try and sit the head down and shoulders back down onto the floor. You might find that some of you will be like that, but you'll get there, okay? If you find yourself in the position, and I can't do this because I'm on camera, but it's really nice if you put this foot up against a wall or something and shuffle your butt in. That way you can get a good pull without having to do it physically, manually with your own hands. But I'm in the middle of the room, so I'll be pulling in with my hands, trying to relax into it. So we hold this one for a bit. Take a few deep breaths, and again, this one I find really reactive in the sense that my glutes really want to resist, so I have to give them a stern talking to tell them to relax. Okay, that's good. And even after they relax, there's a tendency for them to contract again. It's called the stretch reflex action. And it's a safety mechanism, a prevention, so that you don't tear your muscles. But when you're trying to increase the flexibility, you need to be conscious of that. Right, we're going to swap it over now. So get the left ankle on the right knee and repeat the process. Pull it in, and same goes for this. You'll have one good side, no doubt, and one not so good. This is my not so good side. This one's difficult for me. So I'm having to concentrate to try and relax it, because it really wants to resist. Let's try the deep breath technique. Oh. Yeah, it's usually more painful as well if you can relax. A few more seconds in this pose. Okay, good stuff. Now we're going to come up and we're going to do a hip flexor stretch. So this is what the cushion's for, because what I'll do is put that under your knee. And the aim of the game here is to move into a lunge position. Now you're going to support yourself with your knee, and we're trying to thrust the pelvis forward as far as we can so that the knee is well behind the hip. This is someone with really tight hip flexors, but you should be able to get yourself back and keep your body upright, because of course we're trying to open up this angle here, and if you're leaning forward like that, you're closing off the angle. So get your torso upright and push to keep yourself up there with your hands. You can, with this one, I find it helps to support myself on a wall or a chair, because if you're a little bit unstable, there's lots of contractions going on in around the hip to try and stabilize yourself. And the idea is, with a stretch, we don't want contractions, we want relaxation, length, or getting the full length into those muscles. So let's, yeah, but for the benefit of the video, I'm in the middle of a room. Okay, and we've done that side. We're going to do the same thing on the other side here. And the reason we're stretching the hip flexors is because a lot of lower back pain is a result of tight hip flexors. And when we stand up, a hip that's not open fully or too tight will tilt the pelvis forwards. And what that does is it compresses the lower back, puts unnecessary stress through the vertebra, and that can cause pinched nerves and all sorts of inflammation and discomfort. So by stretching out these hip flexors, what we're hoping to do is level up that pelvis and get everything more aligned and more stable. A few more seconds in this pose. And then what we'll do now, we can move our cushion away. We're just going to do a basic toe touch. So keep the legs relatively straight and just dangle. Don't force, just dangle down towards your toes. If you want, you can put a bit of tension in there by going underneath your toes, like that. And what I find, here's a little tip with this one, okay? If you're feeling pain in the back of your knee, it's because the sciatic nerve is being pinched. And the way to prevent that is to allow the calf to relax a bit. And I find if we lean up against the wall, with your feet forward, the calves will be pointed forward, and then I find you can go down further with more of a stretch in the hamstring and less pain in the back of the knees. So that's quite a nice way to do it. Okay, a few more seconds in this pose. Well done. And we'll do one more to finish, which is a bit of a hip flexor stretch, but also a quad stretch. So we're going to go onto one foot, we call this the flamingo, and grab, and we're pulling up like that. Now this is a real test of my balance, which at times is good. I'm doing okay today. Push your pelvis forwards, clench your glute, your butt muscle, and we're trying to create as much of an opening there and lengthening here. So pull your heel up into your butt as well. Hold the pose. If you need to, with this one, support yourself by holding on to something. Doesn't make any difference which hand you use, left or right. It's fine either way, but you want to make sure you're stable. If you're falling over or bouncing about or something, you're not going to be relaxing properly and the stretch won't take full effect. So, same thing on the other side. And bring it up. Hold this pose. Again, concentrate just on pushing your pelvis forward, that bit. You should really feel that. I feel this one primarily in my quad, which is the muscle on the front of the thigh. I think I might need to do a bit more of this stretch, perhaps. A few more seconds. 3, 2, 1. And relax. So that's something that can be done daily. If you're going to go intensive and do it hard and longer, you might leave a couple of days in between stretches, maybe do it every 48 hours or every 2 to 3 days as well. But the important thing with stretching is repetition. Do it again and again, and if you can, make this part of your routine going forward, and that will maintain good balance in and around the hip area, which should alleviate your lower back pain.